Shalom Akim. I'm gonna give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai Bashem Rakah Kadash. The honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who teach and rule well, and salutations to all the Akim, all four corners of earth, which push you with true sincerity. Shalom Akim. Yeah, I want to get into some just a lesson real fast, because you gotta keep in mind that, when you're an Israelite, it's been spread to all four corners of the earth. That was part of our punishment, man. We throughout the Bible, in the beginning, we wanted kings to rule over us. We wanted to be like the other nations and stuff like that. And the Lord did not like that, man. He told us to worship Him, and Him and Him only Him. But we chose to go into these other places and worship what they were worshiping. We chose to go into these other places and they had kings and stuff, and we wanted kings like they had kings, when the Lord is the King of all kings. But yet that wasn't enough for us, man. Yahweh Shai wasn't enough for us. So He's like, all right, fine, man. I'll let these other nations come take you over or do what they want to with you, and you can go chill with them, deal with them, build with them. And we went off, man. Our forefathers went off, and at the end of the day, this is part of our judgment, man. Being put in all four corners of the earth, having to learn what they learn, eat what they eat, do what they do. The Greeks had gymnasiums where they ran around naked. We performed in all that. We did everything, man. We even beat the heathen at their own game, and they got mad at us, man. They would get mad at us, and try to, kill us or maim us, do different things to us, man. Wicked things to us, man. But at the end of the day, the Lord knows who we are, man. And He will never forsake us, man, as far as us being a people to Him, man, and Him being empowered over us. This is Deuteronomy 28:64, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other, and thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor their fathers have known, even wood and stone, man. So that goes into these different religions and stuff, man, because Jake goes to jail and they learn Islam. The nigga woman right now, she's wanting to, do these different spells on herself, so she goes off into Islam as well as Elam's religion, and any other religion in between it. You got some of them that want to follow whatever Moab following. Our people are all about following other nations, man. So these scriptures, once again, let us know what's going on and why they do these things, man. They're wicked, man. That's first and foremost. That's why they want to chase after other things, man. They have no power. They can do nothing for them, man. Our Yahweh Shai speaks about how He's a jealous power, man, throughout the scriptures, man, and we should not worship anything other than Him, man. Look at God. They want to worship the wood. They worship totem poles and stuff. They worship the creature more than the Creator. When they make their totem poles, they put the different animals in there and stuff, man, and just worship them and give them superpowers and beings and stuff, man. This is Jeremiah 12 and 8. My heritage is unto me as a lion in the forest. It crieth out against me. Therefore I have hated it. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. So the Lord speaks about how, like I said earlier, how we're in these other nations and we do a lot better than them, whether it's sports, financial, or business, thinking, we're just, the Lord has us outshining them, and then they come around us and they want to, hey man, what's going on? What's really going on, you're kind of different, man. And spiritually they can't put their finger on it, but being in this truth, we're able to find out and understand what's going on, what's really going on, man. Why these heathens are acting like that towards the ones that so-called look like them, but they're not them, man. They're not the same, man. There's whenever Babylon gets into wars, they always use the Israelites to fight their wars. You could go back to whatever part when America was being established. We always had a hand in helping America some way, somehow, as far as fighting their wars. What are we gonna go? We could go to the Civil War. We could go to whatever war you want, the Revolutionary War, whatever war you want to go to. The Revolutionary War, when Washington was crossing the Delaware or Potomac, who did he have in the boat with him? A Negro. That was the guy. It's all in all those pictures. That dude was with him. That was his right hand man. Jake was his right hand man through his whole time. Whenever Washington had pictures painted of him, Jake was right next to him, man, pointing and leading the way, man. So we've always helped this devil out in his system somehow, some way. But once again, that's part of our punishment. This is Hosea 7 and 8. Ephraim, he have mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake, not turned. It makes me think, once again, adding on to the point about the wars, I used to study the wars back in the day when I was coming up as a kid and coming up as an adult. The History Channel was my shit, man. And they used to, around Veterans Day, they would go off. They'd go off the chain, with the different movies and propaganda, just pure propaganda, And, they would go through the different wars and different timelines. And then when they come to the Vietnam War, I would see a lot of brown-skinned brothers. Like, my uncle's a real brown-skinned brother. Like, you could damn near, if you slick his hair back, he could pass as a Northern Kingdom, But the point is that Ephraim during the Vietnam War, I'm looking at the picture, I'm looking at the screen because Time Life was going through things, and they kept showing these brothers, and they were Ephraimites, man. They said they went over to Puerto Rico, and during the Vietnam War, and was like, hey man, come get this money and come get a place to stay in America, just fight this war for us. And they was like, they said they had a large percentage of the so-called Puerto Rican men jumped on them boats and headed to the war to fight the war, man. So they've always enticed you Israelites somehow, some way to join up with their army, man, and be a part of their madness or wickedness they got going on, And when we're over in these different countries, this is your key part too, because it's gonna add on to why we're over in these all scattered amongst all these people, It's because the men have sex with the women over there, It's well known. It's a well-known fact. Matter of fact, to even prove the point, that when I was in college, one of my homeboys, his mom was Vietnamese and his dad was Ephraimite. So the dude looked like a goddamn Bruce Lee. When you seen the nigga, he looked like a Bruce Lee, but he was bigger than Bruce Lee because his dad was Ephraimite, so he lift weights and he played football. But he looked just like fucking Bruce Lee, man. And if you didn't know, if he didn't tell you his dad was a fucking Puerto Rican, you would have thought the dude was just pure. His eyes wasn't that slanted, but you could tell he was Asian, But yeah, we all over the place, man. We scattered to all corners of the earth, man. This is this is right where I wanted. This is Isaiah. Let me get it. Isaiah 11 and 12, and he shall set up as a sign and sing a sign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth, man. So once again, we've been spread to all four corners of the earth through different wars, or just dealing with Esau, maritime ships and businesses, just trying to make some money, trying to survive, or maybe he kidnapped us or something to that effect. But we've been through all four corners of the earth, This is Isaiah 11 and 13. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. And, that right there, when I was coming up, the Northern Kingdom Southern and Northern Kingdom, they've been at odds for some time. But you go to certain parts of the United States and they've been best friends forever and a day. Right now we're coming to the end. You see more and more unity coming together too as well, And guess what? They don't even know what they're doing. They just know that the Spirit is on them to help out each other, man. And that's the Lord's doing at the end of the day, But yeah, everything is the Lord's doing, and Scripture speak about that. So yes, we're spread to all four corners of the earth. So you might have a Chinese man that come up, and he might speak like a brother, and it's a possibility somewhere down his bloodline that he is a brother, man. Because you got to realize these other nations hide us, man. They hide us. They hate us. They hate you Israelites, man. They know who you are. If you step out of the ordinary of what they call their society, they know that you're different, man. Plain and simple, man. Still got like a sore thumb, man. And we can't help it, man. That's just the juice that runs through us. That's just the Lord running through us, man. We are not average. We are above average people, man. The Lord is not an average man, so how are we going to be average people? We do great things. This is why we have the Michael Jordans. This is why we have the different guys breakdancing and just jumping through the gyms when they on these sports and stuff. Remind you, in basketball, there was a certain time where you couldn't even dunk the ball, but Jake was just flying through the sky. They had to change the rules. We changed the rules of everything, man. So definitely our enemies hate us, man, and want to be like us. But yeah, with that being said, I'm just edifying. Shalom, Akim.